Hello everybody, my name is John Rodriguez. I am a former MLS Next player, a former varsity player, a former college athlete, and a former semi-pro player. And today I want to talk about something that's very important to me and something that has affected me personally and millions of other kids around the US. Welcome to The Price of a Dream. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what the pay-to-play system is, basically in the US is where the younger generation, all the kids, have to pay in order to get into these good academies, to get better and gain more skill and get noticed by bigger teams, especially out in the world. And the problem with this is that we are the only country that does this. No other country, if you look in South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, we're the only country that has this system in place. And it's not fair to those with lower incomes. On a global scale, the US national team has suffered because of this. Most players have to go through all these academies, they have to pay all this money, and then go into the college system and waste their good years playing in these divisions that don't even matter. And by the time they make it into the pro world, they're already 24, 25 years old.
I think it affects them a lot. I think in terms of like overall players that the USA is behind very, very much in terms of like quality players and depth in their team, because a lot of the players who are on the USA national team didn't grow up playing in America. They had to go to Europe to actually like develop themselves, because it's not the same offerings that they give in other countries. Like, if you're not paying, you're not playing. You can be the best player in the world, you can be the reincarnation of the best soccer player ever, but if you're not paying, you're not gonna play.
I feel like the fact that we have to pay thousands of dollars every 6 to 7 months to be able to play is really just going to slow down the growth of U.S. soccer. Because if you look at the team, a lot of the starting 11 are players that left the country at a young age, had parents that gave them the ability to go to other countries, other academies to play, and they grew up in a place where you didn't have to pay to play. If you were good, you were in. So I feel like that's the reason the U.S. has slowed down compared to other countries, because they have the infrastructure, they have the talent pool. They just, as long as they keep charging thousands of dollars, a lot of those kids aren't going to be able to play. And, that's just, like I said, that's what slows them down, really.
Talent difference is massive, and to get better, they need to, like I said, maybe have that academy switch where they have just academies for the MLS team that gets funded. Then you can get all these different subdivisions and cultures, all people like Mexicans, Colombians, Argentinian kids that are born in the United States that don't get the same chance that they might have gotten in their home country to make it at the national team level or even like a pro level.
Compared to other countries, it is free to try out, it is free to join these teams, and they get noticed at a really young age, and they will have a return on investment eventually in the future. There are millions of kids every year in the US that don't have the financial securities to join these academies, and it's a major problem, and I am one of them. Growing up was really hard for me to join these academies and having to go on financial aid, to having to quit teams because the money's just too much and it's not worth what I'm getting out of it. And a lot of my friends personally also have gone through the same thing as me. And if that doesn't say something that this is a real problem, then I don't know what will.
I mean, it was just I had a mindset of I can do it. So I tried my hardest, but no matter how good I was or how hard I tried, there was no money, there was no academy. So there was nothing I could really do there. My parents just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
You're paying for the fees for the tournaments, you're paying fees for the jerseys and kits, you're paying fees for the practices. I mean, we were probably paying maybe $5,000, $10,000 a year to play soccer. And my brother plays almost MLS Next now, and that on top of the jerseys, new jerseys every single year, new sponsors, they're also having to travel to like Texas. They're probably paying like double the amount that they paid when I was in there. You really the more you pay is kind of the more you get out of it. That's the problem.
The reality of this system is that it's most likely never going to get fixed. But there are a lot of ways that we could try and make it better, like trusting in our youth. The thing about European teams and just teams around the world, they trust in their youth that they will put them in the academies for free and then train them up so they become good enough one day that they could sell them on, and that's how they get their return on investment. I feel like there's a really big market that's not being focused on right now with these players from lower financial status where there is really good talent there, not just the ones with all the money. And that really needs to be focused on because the US has the third most population in the entire world. And yet we do so bad on a global standard. Every sport the US is good at, except soccer.
It needs to be changed, to be honest. If the United States wants to do better as a soccer program compared to other nationalities, and it comes down to the money. It really does. So they need to make it easier for parents to pay, or just make it free at that point so their kids can play the sport they love.
There's a lot of players that aren't financially stable that are very good at the game, but they'll never be able to develop because they don't have the money to invest in themselves. And I just feel like in terms of that, like, other countries don't do that. So, you know, there's a lot of pro soccer players who came from nothing, but, you know, they will never have the same shot as those players because they have to pay to even play.
I do feel like the US is taking a step in the right direction because of people like Messi coming in. The world is more likely to look at our league, and obviously we're hosting all the major tournaments that are coming. And I just think that the US is going in the right direction when it comes to soccer, that the only thing they really need to get rid of is this pay-to-play system, or at least to make it better for the lower income kids to get the opportunity to go pro like everybody else. So that's all I have to say about this topic, and I really hope that this video can make a difference. Thank you.